you ever felt trapped by a story from your past, a rejection, a failure, a loss that seems to dictate who you are today? In ancient Greek tragedies, characters were often bound by fate, destined to repeat the same cycles, unable to escape the narrative written for them. But what if you aren't a character in a Greek tragedy? What if you are the writer of your story? Hello everyone, if you haven't met yet, my name is Tiziana Azevedo. I have a background deeply rooted in screenwriting and cinema, and over the years I've realized the same structures that make a great movie, like the hero's journey, are the same structures that shape our lives. The realization led me to create the co-creative writing system, escrita co-criadora, a process designed to help you rewrite your own story. In our previous lessons, we explored how past experience continue to shape your present through the meaning you gave to them. We saw this meaning is not fixed. It can be examined, it can be reconsidered. But this leads to another important question. If meaning can change, can we simply reinterpret anything? Can we just decide on a story and move on? The answer is not exactly. And understanding that difference is essential if you want to truly transform your life. Reframing doesn't mean pretending that something never happened. It doesn't mean turning pain into something positive just to feel better. And certainly does not mean forcing a narrative that doesn't feel true. That is not transformation. That is avoidance. That is denial. Real reframing begins with clarity. You acknowledge what happened. You acknowledge what you felt, and you acknowledge the impact that experience had on you, without minimizing it, without distorting it. But then you look at something deeper, not only the event, not only the emotion, but the meaning you created. Because two things can be true at the same time. An experience can be painful, and the meaning you created from it can still be incomplete. Let's look at an example. Someone can experience rejection and immediately conclude, I am not good enough. The experience of rejection is real. The feeling of pain is valid. But the conclusion, I am not good enough, is not the only possible interpretation. This is where reframing becomes precise, not by changing the facts, but by examining the conclusion. So instead of asking, what happened to me? You begin to ask, what did I make this mean about me? And then you ask, is this the only possible interpretation? Or is this simply the interpretation I created at the time, with the awareness I had then? Writing allows us to do this with absolute clarity. Because when you write, you separate the event, the emotion, and the interpretation. And once they are separated, you can actually work with them. This is a core principle of the co-creative method. We don't write to record, we write to restructure. So here's a simple practice for you to try right now. Take an experience you already written about or one that's been on your mind. Divide your page into 3 parts: event, emotion, conclusion. Column 1, the event, what happened, the facts. Column 2, the emotion you felt. And column 3, the conclusion, what you conclude about yourself, even if you haven't thought about this before. Now pause and look at the 3rd part, because that is where your identity is being shaped. Ask yourself, is this conclusion absolutely true? Or is just one interpretation among others? Then try this. Rewrite the same experience. Do not change the facts, but allow a more complete interpretation to emerge. One that includes what you did not see at the time, what you understand now, and who you are becoming. This is not something immediately, something that you have to do and redo and redo and redo. This is a practice, okay? So you can change your mind, your feelings, your perception, your interpretation, and finally who you are, and you are becoming a more confident person, self-assured. This is the tricks, not like a one-time exercise. This is reframing, not denial, not distortion. The expansion of the meaning is reinterpretation. Reframing is not about make your past look better. It's about making your understanding of it more accurate, more conscious, more aligned with reality. Because when meaning becomes more precise, you are not longer trapped inside a single interpretation. That's where your agency begins. You are not changing the past. You are changing how the past lives in you. This process of moving from a limiting narrative to an empowering one is what I call the 3-act journey in our writing, in our self-writing. The act 1 is understanding old script. Act 2, the confrontation, what we just did with the 3 columns. And Act 3 is writing the new paradigm. If you found this exercise powerful, this is just a glimpse of what we do in the full co-creative writing journey. I put together a series of guided exercises that take you step by step through this exact 3-act structure, not just in a particular event like this, but we can do this in our life, in our whole life, or in periods of our lives, in acts of our lives. You can find the link to the co-creative writing journey in the description below. In the next lesson, we move from the past to the future. We'll explore how writing helps you define your identity before the outcomes, and why that fundamentally changes behavior. If this video helped you to see the past in a new light, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Maybe you know someone who might need to hear this. And let me know in the comments, what did you discover in the third column today? Please leave your comment. I'll see you in the next lesson.